All right, well, we are back out here at our test flight facility. That's not actually our test flight facility, hypothetically speaking. We have Sarvesh, a new face for you guys, but someone that's been a crucial part of getting a lot of these developer out the door, or even new designs that you're going to see, or modifications that you're going to continue to see. One that we are hoping to show off actually yesterday and then earlier today that we don't quite have ready is an ultrasonic sensor. This is a MaxBotix 1232. We have seen plenty of documentation for getting the 1242 sensors working as a rangefinder for collision avoidance, just like simple collision avoidance in ArduCopter. However, Gerardo, our lead electrical engineer who got this connected with an Arduino, was able to get information from it, but not receive any information or able to talk with the Pixhawk through it. He did go ahead and try to change the address, but long story short, if any of you fellow nerdy engineer developer types out there have ever tried to use one of these MaxBotix sensors and had some success, please feel free to share it with us. Otherwise, moving on. We are actually going to be testing a mod kit that you have seen already. This is the HereFlow sensor, optical flow for maintaining a position above the ground horizontally speaking. So 2 camera sensors looking at a point on the ground or finding a common point on the ground to be able to hover above it. And then there's a TeraRanger One. This is actually discontinued. If you want to replicate the success that we've seen using this setup, you'll need to use a TeraRanger Evo or a similar sort of time of flight or Lidar sensor, but that's what will keep developer steady from an altitude perspective. So Sarvesh, who has never flown any of our developer, is that correct?
Yeah, I have not.
Is going to fly one without even a GPS connected, and you're going to tell us how it performs for you. And we're also going to be testing out the iVue RoboControl app. We have a new version here. This is, again, still a development version. It is, technically speaking, publicly available through the URL you see on my screen. Version 1.5.3, released on January 6, 2026 at 10:21 p.m. Mostly for Mohit's reference there. And then let me go ahead and full screen. In Mission Planner, again, for you nerdy technical developer ArduCopter folks, you have to set an EKF origin according to the documentation if you're going to be flying without a GPS. We have done that in Mission Planner. Gerardo, again, our lead electrical engineer, has been able to successfully arm the developer mini without having to set the EKF origin. We just wanted to make sure there is a way to set that EKF origin in our own software. So if you're not an nerdy engineer developer type like myself, at least when you're not forced to be, you can just use the iVue RC app. So I'm going to learn how to do that here along with you, and hopefully it shouldn't be required to begin with, but if it is, it should be much easier to set here than having to use Mission Planner. So Sarvesh wanted to talk some shit about Tharoon, hypothetically speaking, that definitely didn't struggle to put on the props. Luckily, Sarvesh knew exactly what he was doing and didn't struggle whatsoever. Got it exactly right the first try. So let's go ahead and see if you can do something maybe a little bit more simple with my guidance of installing the battery. This may be way too difficult, but we need to show for the people at home just how easy it is to work with the developer mini. Don't plug it in yet. We'll actually plug it in once it's actually set on the ground. And then I'm actually being nitpicky. The way that Sarvesh oriented the battery with the sticker facing down, technically speaking, it shouldn't really matter. I just, for standardization's sake, always like to face it upwards. Again, don't really have to do that, but it eliminates variables. If you ever run into a compass issue or any other sort of interference problem, it could come from the battery, and that's one way to minimize those sorts of issues. Wow, look at that, Sarvesh. Dude, you are a certified pro. He doesn't just make the drones, which we'll get to as a last little send-off, some of Sarvesh's work that he does that I think everyone here will look forward to, especially if you've gone through any of the comments in our recent video talking about what's next for us. All right, and actually, for this purpose, since we're going to be using the connection from the controller to the Legion, I'm going to have it take off a little bit closer to us. Not that this range should be affected all that much, but in any case, that's my reasoning and I'm sticking with it. I should have let you plug in the battery. Nothing really too difficult about that, as you just saw though. It does take, a handful of seconds or so to initialize, as you could hear by the beeping. But let's go ahead. We already have the controller turned on. We will need to set up the Bluetooth connection to the Legion, which I think might be a first that we're showing off here today. So let's, see if it's actually going to work properly. So we have telemetry, that's good. We should be able to set Loiter flight mode. I'm just going to see if we can arm the Developer Mini without setting the EKF Origin. So even if we're not successful in getting the connection to establish between this controller and the Legion, or our PC that just happens to be a Legion Go handheld PC, that again may not even be necessary, may be redundant. So I'm going to just go ahead and see if we can arm the Developer Mini.
Motors armed.
Yeah, so I think the EKF Origin is not actually required as the mission planner document, or sorry, not mission planner, the ArduCopter documentation states. So if again, any of you developers know why it is technically required, I'm all ears, but seemingly it's not actually the case. But let's go ahead and add a drone, connect to drone. I think we already have the Bluetooth as an option. I'm just not sure if it's COM4 or COM10. Let's try COM4. And that does not seem to be giving us the information that we want. So let's try COM10. And no, so we may not even have the Bluetooth connection established right now. So let's try this Maytech MLRS Bluetooth. That could be it, and yeah, there we go. So no satellites. Again, we're flying without GPS, but we do have the battery in the form of voltage, as well as a percentage. And then one quick other point, if you've watched our other videos, this may be redundant, but again, this Bluetooth module just showed up exactly or very similar to how the USB radio would show up, except this actually shows the name Maytech MLRS Bluetooth module or something akin to that, where the USB version shows up as STM32. That's the chipset used in the radio. So have you flown a drone at all of any kind? Okay.
No kind.
So this is what's called a self-centering stick. Oops, let me hit the return button. And so hopefully both of you guys can see it somewhat. So if I let go of the stick, it goes back to center. As you can tell, it's not the best. It doesn't go exactly to center. So you might have to adjust it a little bit so it doesn't come down very slowly, or it doesn't go up very slowly. But you can see on this other side, it centers actually very well, right? So if you're using a game controller, the self-centering works a lot better, But this is your throttle on your left side. So to go up and then to go down, you never really want to go all the way up or all the way down, at least, just for testing. But the speed is actually limited with these sensors as well, or really the optical flow sensors. So you'll probably be fine even if you do try to go full speed. This is rotate left and rotate right. So the antenna, as you should know, is the rear of Developer Mini. Yeah. So if you rotate it to the left and now it's facing, let's say that building right there in front of us, directly in front of us, and you push forward, it will go that direction. But if you rotate it to now where it's facing the bank right there, and now you press forward, it's gonna head towards the bank, right? So that's forward, back, left, and right relative to the way Developer Mini is facing.
Got it.
And again, if you ever get lost, you should just be able to let go of the controls and just have it hover there. So go ahead and I guess this is to arm it. So that will kick on the motors. I'll help you with that.
Motors armed.
All right, now let that go, and then you can just gently push up on the stick.
Like that?
Yep. Oh my gosh, Sarvesh, you're doing it. And then if you want to put down the controller really quick, and now you can say, look, Ma, I could do it with no hands. And then now you can pick up the controller again and be serious. So now you want to charge right at Brian. No pressure, Sarvesh. Oh my God, he's doing it, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe a little too much.
Yeah, we're gonna need those collision avoidance sensors. I think. No. Sarvesh, you're like the most.
Yeah, I'm not good at this.
Like no, I'm saying you're like the most like held back, restrained person.
Crash the drone. I don't want to.
Seems like everyone else, like not really, but some people will just get it for the first time and yeah, go away from Brian. He has a zoom lens, so the further away you are from him, the better, relatively speaking. Don't like go all the way outside the field, of course, but. So again, just to remind everyone, the GPS is physically disconnected here, and Sarvesh is able to fly it this nice and smoothly. So especially if you have any need to fly a small drone like Develop Air Mini indoors, this is a great way to be able to do so and not have to constantly provide input to just keep a stable hover. So now, using the iVue RoboControl app, I just put it in land flight mode, and you get that indication. I just put it back in Loiter flight mode, and now Sarvesh has back control. So this is kind of a cool way that if you were to start maneuvering too crazy, I could take away control, basically just using the iVue RC app here. And I would say we could now upload a Waypoint mission to it, but without having a GPS physically connected, there's no way to do a Waypoint mission, at least yet. So for those that may be interested, especially again for indoor flights within educational, especially competition sort of environments, we are working towards a solution that you could do waypoints almost in like a Lego Mindstorm sort of fashion, where you could say, go forward for X amount of seconds or X amount of rotations, or provide this amount of input forward that then translates to a rough distance. So you could basically do a form of waypoint planning indoors or without GPS. Very rudimentary, but it's kind of similar to what the Tello had with block programming, but we're not going to use block programming because, you know, we're serious around here. Super serial. It's one pretty bird. Maybe less so with the wires hanging out the side of it. But again, it's a development drone, people. A mini development drone. If you couldn't tell by the name. It was psyching me out there for a moment. I was like, wow, Sarvesh coming in a little hot there, but you've been very restrained. All right, you want to fly it back over towards us and land it. Let's see how close you can land it. And when you're coming down for the landing, just make sure with the left stick you come straight down, but nice and slowly. Don't bring the stick all the way down until you're actually landed on the ground. And if that doesn't make sense, I can walk you back through it. Come closer, come on, I know you can. Dude, not that close, dude. Are you fucking crazy, Sarvesh? I mean, freaking crazy. Man, that's, you're not gonna try to land it on the table? No balls. Maybe Tharoon was right about you. All right, and then hold that left stick all the way down, pull it all the way down, and then all the way to the left. And then keep holding it there until it says disarm. Wow, dude, what a pro, Sarvesh. We're not worthy. Actually, we're not worthy of Sarvesh's work that he's doing, both on the full-size developer, which we don't have one, but go watch some of our other videos if you want to check that out, relative to the developer mini. So this is the size of the developer mini that you just saw, or the fuselage of a developer mini. With, what is that on the boom arm attachment point of the fuselage? Oh my gosh, does that fold? No way. So I guess, Sarvesh, do you want to talk through this a little bit and talk about where we're at, and then at least as far as you understand, when these great, glorious viewers may be able to see a developer take flight with one of these designs.
So this is the folding boom arm design.
No care for our video whatsoever. No.
So this is the folding boom arm design. So basically how it works is, if you remove this plate over here, if you can see it, there's a pin which comes down. You have to press it, and then you can just fold. And once you fold back, there's a spring over there which pops the pin back into place, so you can't fold it without pushing the button down. So this has been in the works for about 2 or 3 months at this point, and we're just getting into the testing stages of it. And we've also implemented it on the developer mini.
Much more recent, like 2-3 weeks, right? If that.
Maybe even one.
Yeah,
one week ago.
Sarvesh makes quick work, and not just the quick work, but really a testament to Sarvesh's resourcefulness. And given maybe I should have and could have been better, more involved on this, one of many projects, maybe too many projects arguably, that we have going on at any one point. But Sarvesh was able to find pens, like ball pens around the office, ballpoint pens, and scrap springs out of them. But of course, those that are familiar with DIY hobbyist sort of hardware projects, you know, McMaster Car is actually right down the road from us, well, about an hour and a half down the road from us, and they sell all sorts of hardware. So just goes to show, if you are resourceful, you can start actually making modifications to developer, even not as far as like an attachment in the payload sense, but actually changing up the design to make folding boom arms as an example. So kudos to you, Sarvesh. Thank you for helping us get to this point. And then as Sarvesh alluded to, here in the next week, maybe 2, you should see your first developer, followed by developer mini with folding boom arms take flight. And hopefully, if the design works as well as it looks, at least mostly, it will sustain flight as well until it's meant to come down for a landing, right? So anything else that you would like to add beyond the thunder I already stole?
No, nothing
cool.
at all.
Well, I think that's it for this test flight. So again, you saw the developer mini sustain flight without the EKF Origin, which I guess I was just about to gloss over. Let me verify that we can set the EKF Origin point. So set origin, and it was just set. So that does work. So if you do a modification like this with Developer Mini, you don't even have to use Mission Planner for anything other than setting the parameters. As soon as you want to go fly it for the first time, which I think it may just be required then, you could set the EKF origin point just using the settings icon in the iVue RC app, and then going to EKF Global Origin and hit Set Origin. So nice and easy. You'll also be seeing Developer Mini take flight with a collision avoidance system here in the next week or 2. But again, if you have any suggestions for getting this MaxBotix 1232 sensor to work, definitely all ears there. But in any case, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and you'll catch us in the next one. Peace.